Hi, welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm going to talk about how life coaching is becoming basically a big trend uh, for those people moving for any of you. It could be uh, in the process of moving abroad, moving not just to visit, not just as a tourism, as a tourist going to a country in Asia or Latin America. But now specifically, I want to talk about the Philippines. Many Americans, many Western moving to the Philippines, and increasingly, the life coaching industry is moving as people are moving abroad, basically. And we know that, of course, you and I know that many of us, many of you guys, watching this video, and of course, those of you who have been, following my channel for a few months now, and that I've been talking about what is life abroad, how the culture shock, how the financial situation, financial system work, how you can manage your money properly, the exchanges of money, basically adjusting to life in general, the housing cost, the grocery cost, transportation, medical costs abroad. But increasing all this, information has been, many people, of course, are acting, many YouTubers actually, are acting as literally as life coaches. In fact, life coaches de facto, because they even, they're even making, suggesting you how how you, when you have your own connection. I mean, in the Philippines, like you have LDR, like long, distant relationship, or either if you have visited the Philippines, or you are in the process of making that move or making a decision to go to the Philippines, for instance. Um, so they have, plenty. There are some YouTubers have been, basically making, suggestions that they are the experts in these relationships. It's like they have, the inside view of how Filipinos, especially female ones, because most people moving to the Philippines as an expat are men. Over 95% of the time is, single men looking for that second chance, the second opportunity in life, or some people who are escaping, in a way, escaping. I'm not saying that they're fugitives. I'm just saying, they're trying to just leave everything behind, like everything behind meaning sell their houses. Maybe they went through a divorce, they went through a business venture that they lost their job, maybe this, or a business venture that in which everything went bad, and what they selling the leftover. Of course, they're fed up with the system, in in the lifestyle they've been having in the United States or Canada. It could be another Western country. So this is like a filling the vacuum in which, of course, um, YouTubers in this case, filming almost every day from different cities in the Philippines. We can call Angeles City. You can call it Dumaguete, that's beautiful town in the Philippines, Manila, and Bohol, and all these places, Negros Occidental, Negros Oriental, even from Mindanao. I mean, people are, there is YouTubers, of course, and I don't, it's okay. I mean, they sharing their experiences, of course. Some of them had been there for years, for 10 years, some of them 15 years, 12 years. But then this trend, uh, of so-called Filipino experts. I mean, experts in the Philippine issues in this case, in how to live and how to be an expert. That's where the life coaching trend. That's where the life coaching issue is widening, because in a way, what all they're telling you is like, well, how you gonna behave, what is gonna be the key for your success in the Philippines, how not to make the same mistake that you made back home in the US. I mean, with your previous partner, your previous wife, your previous life that you are just about to leave behind, or you are already left? Because some of you guys, you already maybe visited the Philippines for a couple of months and you went back to the States from to work on your job, but you are a couple of years uh, previous to make that big decision. You're just about to retire. Maybe you're in your 50s, late 50s, and definitely you are very much convinced after watching videos. I mean, literal videos of YouTubers from the Philippines about how life is there, how what daily life means for you. So, in not just in in cost of living, the cost of living, which most people they want to, of course, many all of us want to lower our monthly expenses. Like if you're retired, you have pension, your social security, and so on and on. But then do you really need a life coach? I mean, life coach that can even suggest or tell you, through social media, in this case YouTube, on how you're gonna behave in front of socially in a Filipino setting, like how you're gonna approach a female in the Philippines, for instance, how you're gonna behave in the Filipino culture. What is which is very much family oriented, which is very different from the Western way of life, which very much is personal, is very much people on, they don't want to be bothered, they just want to be you know uh, be on their own, making their own decisions about just to be left alone, which is that's what the Constitution says. The United States Constitution says that you have the right to have the liberty, and of course you have to be looking for happiness, and that you have the freedom to live your life any way you want, and nobody should be bothering you or should be criticizing you or should. But in the Philippine lifestyle, which family opinions are so important, because that's the way is. People are very attached to their relatives. They live in the same compound, they live in the same neighborhood, and of course people have plenty of time on their life. So gossiping, I mean, which is gossiping, and people making rumors, whether this is true or false. I mean, this is like a very much like a lifestyle, very much like one of the pastime in the Philippines, I would say. And of course among those other pastime, but one of those is like a, so you have to deal with if you find a female, that significant other, that girlfriend that you're looking for, and you're just long time relationship, long distant relationship, sorry. If then once you are there with your boots on the ground, like you say, I mean, once you are there in real life now, in present, with physically present there, if you don't know how to act, how to communicate, how to make that connection with that beautiful Filipino girlfriend that you found, you might end up losing that girl over what? Over minor things that you have. That most likely, if you had a life coach, in this case, a life coach, or if you had a good advice, good consulting with good all the information that you need to know. Of course, information you can find on Google, right? But Google that's a technique, very much like academic or technical information about things. But and also you need a current information, what's going on there in every city, especially the place where you're going. If you are in the process of moving, of course, if you are there, you still need some insight, you need you need to make connection with other experts to see what their life has been. I mean, how other people experience it, help you. But YouTubers, most YouTubers, apparently, I'm not saying everyone, of course, but they tend to think just because they have 15 or 10 or 20 years in the Philippines, that they know the whole thing without being a really expert. I mean, you have to be, of course, to be a life coach, you need to be certified. Basically, that's a career. I mean, that people, do life coaching as a career, basically, not as a. Of course, they have a YouTube channels also, but at least you need to be trained in the business of life coaching to be able to really advise properly to the client. I mean, if you need a life coach, like a relationship with a life coach, to help you out to succeed in the Philippines, of course, you need to have a contract, I guess, I suppose, with that person who is an expert, who is trained in that issue, in issues that deals with everything in the Philippines, whether this is in immigration, but legal issues, the culture, of course, romantic relationship with with a female, I mean Filipino female, which that has different culture, different, even in some cases different languages. But in the Philippine case, they speak English. I mean, they do speak the same language as you speak if you're coming from the U.S. or from Canada. So that will help you. That's one step ahead, of course. One step, ahead in the different step in which you're gonna climb like a ladder to get to where you need to go, and not to be failure again in life. I mean, of course, I'm not. We all fail in life. We all make mistakes. We all find that bond. But as we grow older, as we go through life, I mean, don't making those mistakes. There's a time that, I mean, you're gonna get tired of it. I mean, tired of meaning that you wanna. I mean, if you've been divorced once or twice, I mean, you don't want to make the same mistake. And if you have the resources, which most people moving abroad is because they have some resources. I mean, some people, some expert moving abroad, like in the Philippines in this case, of course they only have the social security check in which they can they can rely on, and some of them maybe pension from the private from their previous jobs. So they have very much but life what that you can, if you can I mean, you use some resources to help more, like in a consulting way with life coach. That's a decision you need to know if you can make it, instead of making more mistakes as you go to the Philippines, right? So that's an option that you can. I'm not suggesting in this video that you should do that, but look, if you're looking for that perfect place, almost perfect, no place there is a perfect in this planet, but the perfect mate, I mean, the as much as perfect as possible, not 100% perfect, the best possible new partner, that new wife you're looking for. And why not, if you get if you're gonna get some advice, professional advice how to do it, right? But I'm not saying that I can recommend one of them. All I'm saying here that there are many YouTubers that claim to have that expertise, that that I'm not saying of course they know they know what's going on in the field. They had the boots in the ground for years now, right? And they've been traveling to the U.S. or Europe. Some of them, and they live, of course, there, and they know. But there is no way you can rely, 100% of if you meet a Filipino, that if they are advising, oh, this is that this girl, like you present the biography of this girl, right, the profile of this girl, there's no way they can 100% advise you. They don't have the real expertise, I would say. I mean, you can learn from it. I can learn from I learn from some YouTubers about what's the Filipina all about, but I'm not going to rely on every decision. Ultimately, the decision is yours. I mean, the decision is that you need to have that savvy, that maturity of being someone, being through so many things in life. I mean, if you're moving abroad, it's because basically it's the country where you live, whether any country, this Western country where it's done for you, that you have done everything, that you gave all for that country. You gave all 30 or 40 years of work. The relationship, you sacrificed a lot already in relationships, and relationship. You went through a divorce, or maybe you just are single, right? But you don't find that person, that special person that you wanna be, that you wanna share your life, that you wanna make that first decision. You wanna make it right. I mean, the first, it's like a playing baseball game, right? In the first strike, you wanna hit a home run. It's possible, and of course, there are many information on the internet. Of course, some of you, I'm talking, some of you are internet savvy. I mean, technology savvy. But guys, technology is just a piece of metal. That's at the end of the day. I mean, I'm talking at this moment. I'm talking to you. And I'll be listening to you, to your advice too, to your comments about what I'm saying here. Do you really need a life coaching? To really move to the Philippines? Maybe not. At the end of the day, maybe not. So this video basically is to to give you heads up. I mean, to you know, that is okay. My point of view here that is that it's okay if you watch those videos. And myself, I watch over and over some videos because I found some things that are interesting. But um, is it really gonna damage your chance? Some of these videos can really hurt you. I mean, can make you. I mean, make decisions that can be wrong. I mean, this, some of these, there could be different interests of people, broadcasting or um, doing videos for the YouTube channels in the Philippines. Because of course, the most views people get in in their channel, so they're most likely some. I'm not saying all. There's plenty. There are good YouTubers who have good heart. They are very sincere. They are very genuine in what they're saying, of course, and they have the knowledge. They have the same. They do research. I guess they interview people. I mean, people in different expertise in the Philippines. Whether this is the immigration in the Philippines, whether this is the legal part on how the system, the justice system works, how the banking system works, how you find, like, if you want to buy a house or if you want to buy land, what to do, what not to do. That's part of life coaching, of course it is. But at the end of the day, I mean, you are the one who's going to make this decision of what to do, what not to do. So of course this video is for, just to get you heads up. I mean, um to what, of course, to get the information properly and increase your possibilities of of spending your time watching good really videos that's going to help you really build, that's going to teach you something really valuable about that decision that you're in the process of making or you're just about to make. Because sometimes some of you maybe have visited the Philippines for several times, maybe the second time, and you still have the doubt. You don't have, I mean, you haven't made the decision because you doubt, I mean, if this is the right move for you, that you haven't, pulled the trigger yet. But then you need some more information, more advice, like more visits maybe, right? But of course, that's a decision that ultimately that you need to make, of course. But my suggestion in here, my honest suggestion, generally speaking, is that take your time, take the time. Don't rush into something that it can backfire. I mean, don't go too fast. I mean, take your time, take the time you need it. If you need to make 3 or 4 trips after pulling the trigger about moving for good, for good to the Philippines, that's gonna be it. But if of course, for some people, they say, okay, well, after being through a divorce, maybe you've been lonely so many years, maybe, like, myself, I was lonely for years too. I have some my own personal experience to share too, in which, if you have been lonely for so many years and really you wanna then you jump just months later, 2 or 3 months later, after a failed relationship, you jump into the next one, and that's good. That's not really a good call. I mean, but it's a case by case situation. If in your case you think that you're making that's the right call to make because you find the right one. I mean, you have, there is no red tape, there is nothing suspicious of nothing. You met the family of this girl maybe in the Philippines, the Magedi, on the provinces. Because some people say, well, people in the cities are different than in the provinces. Girls in the city, but remember that girls. I mean, if you are looking for that future wife whether this is Cebu City, Manila, or Dumaguete, and then you go, and then most of these female girls, they come from the provinces too. So province life has, unless you go directly to the provinces, very well in the mountainside, those islands that are very far away from the Manila, from these big cities, then that could be, that could be a good chance, a better opportunity. But at the same time, saying this, don't make a fast decision about things. You can spend time. I mean, months, 6 months, 8 months, even more than a year, before you really commit to a situation in which looking for a serious relationship. If that's the case, because some people move to the field. Some of you guys, move to just to have to stay single, basically. I mean, to have a new life, to improve your quality of life, to find that cheap apartment, good prices of groceries and good living, basically finding peace. Because in this stage of life, if you're in the 40s, 40s or 50s, even 40s or 50s or 60s, you're trying to find peace. You're escaping in a way the rat race on the Western world. You're escaping. I mean, you don't want to mess with that 4,000 or $5,000 apartment, two-bedroom apartment in big cities. That's killing you. I mean, it's just draining your resources. So uh, basically, but of course, this is a case by case situation. If, depending on what stage of life, it's depending on what stage of life you are at this moment. I mean, if you're still working, I mean, your early 40s or so, and you are just a digital nomad, it's a different situation. Many guys live in big cities in condo, where everything. I mean, they can pay those expensive, building. I mean, the condos, which is still some of condo apartment buildings in Cebu, in BGC, Makati. Makati is very. Some of them are more than six. Some of them is six, seven, $800, and some are even over $1,000. So it's not for everyone, of course, but some guys can pay it. I mean, some still digital nomad working from abroad. Of course, you can afford to pay, but most retirees moving abroad, they have very limited resources. They have you know there are a social security check that's coming every month, but you have limited resources so you can afford to pay more than that you could. So guys, hopefully this video may help you uh, about life coaching and what does it mean for you, as you listen to all these YouTubers, to make the right decision. So thanks for watching again. I will see you in the next video. Take care. May God bless you all.